Cody. We got to talk about it. They gave us something to digest. Day one of Tennessee football practice, as reports circulated that the most accurate quarterback, the one that stood out, was Jake Merklinger.
Yeah, I saw that. Your boy William was all fired up about it last night because he's a Merklinger guy for some reason. But I don't take anything at all from that. Doesn't even move the needle for me.
Doesn't move the needle for you at all?
Nope. It means nothing. It's day one of fall camp. They're trying to make us believe it's a quarterback battle. And it is to some extent. But, like, Joey's going to be the quarterback. It is what it is, folks. Write it down in pen. You don't need pencil. Take a Sharpie to it.
Why do you say that?
I don't think you bring Joey in to be a backup quarterback. I think you were scrambling last minute when you got Joey. You wanted somebody better. Now, don't get me wrong. You would have rather had Sawyer Robertson or Josh Hoover or one of those Big 12 guys, but I think you knew in that process when you lost Nico that you were going to need to bring somebody in. It's not to say Jake Merklinger can't pull an upset, but, I mean, what did we give it last week, 10%?
Well, saying that he can't pull an upset is what you're saying when you say write it down, put it in stone. Like that
well,
is
what I
you're
just
saying.
say, though, 10%? Isn't that what we agreed on last week, 10%?
But writing something in stone means 100%.
Okay, not 100. Let's go to 90.
It's not very easy to start
90.
chiseling something in stone. Like it's
okay,
tough.
Yeah, if semantics, but 90%. I mean, yeah, it's not 100, but
well, I think I would have been closer to that number with you even before yesterday. Like if we had been having this discussion on the show on Wednesday morning or Tuesday morning, I think I would have agreed with you there.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that just seeing those talks and including those talks is that, you know, Joey didn't have his best day. I think I've adjusted my number down to like 65-35.
That's way too far, in my opinion. Way too far, pal.
It might be. But you combine that with Lance Hurd coming out and talking about how good of a leader Merklinger is.
Yeah, but they said all that about Joey too.
Right. But like now they're giving the other side a little bit to him. Maybe they're just throwing him a bone. Maybe all this is, like you said, just, hey, let's placate the guy. Let's put the guy over. But to me, logically, Merklinger makes more sense.
He's younger and he has no experience.
He's also got more years that he could play at Tennessee.
No.
Yes.
He doesn't, because I think we all know that Faison Brandon is going to be the future.
The future doesn't mean he starts as a true freshman, though. Nothing Josh Heupel has shown me makes me think he's going to start a true freshman quarterback. So, like,
so you're thinking Merk for 2 years?
Well, I mean, is that not better logically than Joey Aguilar for 1 year, and then you're trying to see if Merklinger or a true freshman is the quarterback next year? Just like logically.
I don't know, man. I think if that's the situation we're in, we got problems.
What do you mean? You think it's better? You think it's worse to play Merklinger for 2 years than it would be to play Aguilar for 1 and Merklinger for 1? Because I think it's fair to say that like a true freshman next year, expecting him to start is asking a lot for Faison Brandon. We could agree on that, right?
I mean, you typically don't see it. A lot of people wanted Nico to start, and that didn't happen.
Didn't even come close to happening.
But I think we also learned, with hindsight being the privilege we have here, that Nico wasn't as good. I mean, Faison may come right in and be much better than Nico was as a freshman. You know, so I think they're two different situations. But yes, generally, starting a true freshman is not an ideal situation.
And it's not something that Josh Heupel's really shown that he wants to do either. Like, no coach probably wants to do it, especially at the quarterback position. But Josh barely has done it at other positions. Like, I mean, freshmen barely get to play any position, it feels like. Like, Mike Matthews couldn't get on the field last year as a freshman until the very, very end. Like, they barely even cracked the rotation. So I just think Heupel's been pretty slow with those young guys. So, again, just logically, does it not make sense to, like, the guy that would have more time at Tennessee? Like, would it not make more sense for him to be the one that, if it's close, you give him the tiebreaker?
Logically, maybe you're right, but I can't spin it that way in my mind because he's been calling it the Joey Aguilar situation since day one. All the talk has been about Joey. The locker room talk has been about Joey. The media days talk was about Joey. I think it would be a pretty big upset if Merklinger pulled off the quarterback win. You bring a guy in with experience. I mean, that's what you want ultimately. I don't know. Do you think Heupel's looking at it on a down the road basis, or is he looking at it like how most of these coaches say, we're going to put the guy who gives us the best chance to win on the field? Because I don't know that you look at it in a 2-year package kind of way. If Aguilar gives you a better chance to win right now, I'd say win right now is the mentality.
Now the Joey Aguilar situation, like, I know we talked a lot about that, but I think when you look at the actual context surrounding that, it was him trying to rephrase and recenter, reposition the Nico Iamaleava situation. So, like, the quarterback situation, the Nico Iamaleava situation, he's like, let's just call it the Joey Aguilar situation. Like, basically, like, let's quit saying the Nico situation.
Okay. I think I just think this accuracy thing's being blown way out of proportion. I mean, what exactly do you have the exact quote from Heupel?
About the accuracy?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't from Heupel. It was from the media that watched it.
Oh. Well, I mean, that means nothing to me.
Okay.
Heupel didn't even say anything about it. I thought I was under the impression that Heupel had said that Merklinger was the more accurate quarterback yet.
No, Heupel's not really going to talk after every practice.
Oh,
no, this was from reports.
Oh, well, I could care even less then about that, just because some media guy saw a couple of reps and said Merklinger was a more accurate passer. You're taking that as more of a.
You're not hearing me talk much about the accuracy. I haven't gotten hung up on the accuracy at all. I'm more caught up on the idea that Lance Erd came out to try to talk about Merklinger's leadership. I didn't think that was nothing, but also just looking at it from a logic standpoint of, I don't know why we've went ahead and given the job to Aguilar as a media entity, as a fan base, whatever. Like, I don't know I don't know what's happened from like May to now to where it did start feeling like a 90% foregone conclusion. And I do think that I thought that at the beginning of the week too. So, I was a part of that, but I'm trying to do some reflection and be like, well, what changed between Joey Aguilar coming in, having a short time to learn the playbook, not having, a standing in the locker room, not having like it's not like he's an incumbent. Like when you look at the Nico situation, like you talked about, Joe Milton had been here for 3 years and was literally thought of as one of the best teammates of all time. Like that's what everybody talked about. Oh, this guy hung around. He waited his turn 3 years. Him and Hendon Hooker. Oh, he beat Jeremy Banks' ass for stepping on the tee. This guy's a ball. So like Heupel kind of owed it to Milton to give him every opportunity to play quarterback. That's what everyone pretty much said. I think this situation with Aguilar and Merklinger, it's not that. Like the older guy is the new guy. The older guy has no sweat equity built up with the team or with Josh Heupel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Merklinger's the one that's been here for 2 years and maybe is a good teammate. I don't know. I won't pretend like, I've heard many people talk good or bad about Merklinger from last year. He was just kind of there. But like he's a highly rated guy. and he's a guy that has been here longer. So, like, I don't know how we got to Aguilar for sure being the guy, but we all kind of did.
I mean, were there not rumblings about Merklinger wanting to transfer?
But then he stayed. I mean,
yeah,
well,
he did.
It was Merklinger maybe not wanting to transfer as much as he wanted the starting job and didn't want to be a backup. And they're like, hey, again, I think that would be them being like, hey, no, you're actually in this battle, bro. Like, you can be the starter.
Yeah, but like if we're gonna paint him on the side of being the good teammate,
sure.
Like, I mean,
I'm not painting him as the good teammate. I'm saying I haven't heard to the contrary. I'm saying Lance Hurd coming out and trying to throw him a bone for leadership wasn't at least nothing for me. It was like a hey, they're
these guys. I mean, to me, these comments don't mean that much. I mean, I guess
okay. Well, then I guess let's just answer my question of why we are saying Joey is 90%. What has changed for you from the time he transferred here? To now.
We brought him in as a transfer. So I think that, from the jump meant that we needed another quarterback.
Well, I think you could say that you knew you needed a quarterback regardless because you only had two on the roster. Like, it was true freshman George McIntyre, who's 130 pounds, and it was Jake Merklinger, unproven. So I think everyone at the time knew you had to go find a quarterback. Go ahead, Bubba.
He has been known to play a freshman before. Dylan Gabriel took over for UCF back in 2019 as a freshman.
Back in 2019.
Was he a true freshman? Do you know that?
I'm not going to stick my leg out and say absolutely yes, but I think so.
I guess that would be an important distinction.
But that's also because of circumstance too, because Mackenzie Milton got hurt. But even then, for him to get hurt and then you take the freshman.
Yeah. That would just be an important distinction, whether he had a year in the program as a redshirt freshman or not. But yeah, I mean, to me, that just comes down to the player. It's a situation on how good that player is. Like, I mean, if Faison Brandon comes in and he's amazing, like maybe you go ahead and pull the trigger, but we don't know yet.
At what point did Dylan Gabriel take over? Did he take over game one? I mean, Mackenzie Milton got hurt in the season, right? Do we know that?
Yeah, it shows Mackenzie Milton logged 0 stats for 2019.
Okay. Now, I mean, I would say, UCF, Tennessee, there's a little bit different stakes there.
True freshman.
Yeah. Little bit different stakes there in terms of your body, the attention, what it takes to be a quarterback. You could be the UCF quarterback a little bit easier than you could be the Tennessee quarterback. But Cody,
after they went 12-1,
I'm just saying it's UCF, bro. Like, you think there's more pressure being the UCF quarterback, regardless of record, Bubba, than being the University of Tennessee quarterback?
I think there's pressure being a quarterback anywhere.
There are, for sure. But do you think that it's all equal? Do you think there's the same pressure being the ETSU quarterback as there is the University of Tennessee, or where do you draw the line?
Sure.
Well, you're dumb. That's a terrible take.
Oh, that's not nice.
Well, there's different levels of quarterback pressure. Like, being the guy at a big school is obviously tougher than being the guy at a school that isn't playing in the biggest conference, the toughest place. Saying the ETSU quarterback and the University of Tennessee quarterback has the same pressure is just not true. That's just not true. That's a dumb take. He doesn't even believe it. He was just trying to double down on it.
Well, for me, as I was saying on why I believe Joey's the guy, from the jump, you brought him in as a transfer because you thought you needed another quarterback. B, I thought the Joey Aguilar situation comment weighed heavier than these comments do for me. Like, I think Heupel had Joey on his mind from the jump. And C, also, I think you've heard all those quotes from players and media about Joey in the locker room and how he's adjusted and made friends with everybody and he's learned the playbook quickly. And it's all been positive talk about him from not just media, but players too. So I guess one comment from Lance Hurd to me would not outweigh the other comments. All the things Kitzelman was saying, for example, at SEC Media Days about Joey and how he's come in and won everybody over. I see a guy that's got that kind of experience like he does. He's proven it much, much lower level, granted, but he's played on a big on a college football stage. I just think it's a lot more likely that he wins I'd be more curious as to why you dropped all the way to 65%.
Well, because I just started thinking about it logically. And I just started thinking in terms of, well, nothing tangible has really happened for us to start at 50-50 and just like all of a sudden keep going. Okay, more Joey, more Joey, more Joey. Okay, now 90-10, now foregone conclusion, he's the quarterback. Nothing's really happened. Nothing's really happened. You know, Heupel keeps telling us it's a quarterback battle, and we're just like, yeah, that's fine. It's Joey Aguilar. But like nothing has really happened tangibly to make us all kind of think that. So then I just started thinking about, well, the reports that he's accurate, the reports that you know, it wasn't a great day for Joey, and they keep talking about Merklinger's, oh, he's fixed his mechanics. He looks like a different guy. And, you know, you can take that with a grain of salt. That, to me, doesn't matter as much as then I start thinking, okay, well, Joey was a top 100 prospect. Tennessee, from a coaching staff, I think has tipped their hand that their philosophy has kind of changed this year. And what I mean by that is we talked about it. They really want these blue chip guys in the program to stay, develop, and hopefully play. Now, it's at other positions we're talking about, you know, wide receiver and, you know, on defense, like, hey, we're going to just try to get these guys ready to play. Hey, the defensive line, yeah, we're just get ready to play. Hey, wide receivers.
There were some comments yesterday that I did like, the ones from Halsley about the philosophy change, as you're talking about. Did you?
Well, I do like it, although to me it's kind of simple. Like, hey, we got to figure out how to still make big plays when they drop 8 in coverage. Like, thank you. That would be nice. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I'm glad that that's on their radar.
Sure. It took 3 years for them to figure it out. Like that. Hey, these teams love playing 8 defensive backs against us and dropping deep in coverage, or not 8 defensive backs, but you know what I mean? Like dropping linebackers
8
back
guys
in coverage.
In coverage. Yeah.
Yeah. 8 guys in coverage. Like, we should still figure out how to make big plays. That's great, Joey. I hope you can figure it out. Let's throw a little motion back in the offense. Let's see if that helps. But, you know, I just started thinking, and we talked about wide receivers, so it was on my mind, though. And I was saying, like, hey, there's certain positions I don't want to go with the C+, B- guy. And I think quarterback's one of those, too. And who do you think has the higher ceiling? Joey Aguilar in 1 year, or Jake Merklinger for maybe 3 years? A top 100 guy, a 4-star guy that is, you could say, more physically gifted.
If what you're saying is, I mean, if you're talking down the road, then I agree with what you're saying. I just wonder if they're looking at it that way.
And they might not be.
Because to me, it's a win now. What do you have right now that's going to help you win this year?
Sure.
Is Jake Merklinger he'll be a redshirt sophomore?
Redshirt freshman for Merklinger.
He'll only be a redshirt freshman?
Yeah.
I thought he was going into his – I mean, when you're comparing that to a guy who's a senior who's been not in our program, but in college football for multiple years, sounds like a pretty big difference in terms of who's going to give you a better chance to win this year.
I mean, age doesn't always equal being a better player, though.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But on a 1-year basis, I would roll with Aguilar. Like if it was me on the surface, who do you think is going to be a better quarterback this year? I would assume it's going to be Aguilar.
The odds I still give it, you know, like I said, to me, it went back to like maybe 65-35. So I don't disagree with your overall sentiment that it's still going to be Joey, but I do think that we were maybe a little premature in calling the battle over. Like I do think if Joey comes out and isn't accurate again and Merklinger keeps outplaying him, I do think that becomes a different discussion. Like, and we can get to next week's first scrimmage, and he has a chance to really close the gap. That's all I'm saying. But I know that you were just being hyperbolic with the ETSU take, so that's why I called it dumb. I wasn't calling you dumb.
You did call him dumb.
I didn't call him dumb. I said that's dumb. Terrible take.
I'm now reinforcing my opinion. I'm saying it does not matter where you're at. Quarterback battle's a quarterback battle, John.
Okay, well, you are dumb.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Dumb and stubborn. Two bad things.
I'm glad you think that you have the proper opinion on this situation.
I think many people would agree that there's more pressure at different levels of quarterback. Like, you think a peewee quarterback battle, you think that kid's going home and looking at himself in the mirror and being like, oh my God, I got to win this battle.
Yeah.
No.
Same thing for high school.
No.
Kid wants to get offer. Same thing for lower JUCO colleges. Those kids want out. You think that quarterback battle's not tough, John? Come on.
I'm
You
saying
didn't watch Last Chance. You don't know how these kids are.
Tough versus pressure, not the same thing. Something being tough to win a quarterback battle versus having pressure to win the quarterback battle, not the same thing.
If the situation is tough or difficult,
not the same pressure. Like the difference between playing for millions of dollars, playing for, a chance to get to the NFL, not the same as playing high school football, trying to get a JUCO scholarship. Not the same thing. Not the same pressure.
You think both these guys are trying to play for the NFL?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say if I'm Joey Aguilar,
no other quarterback at, let's just say UCF was trying to play.
I would say as a freshman, Mackenzie Milton or Dylan Gabriel was probably not thinking about, hey, this is for my NFL future. Nope.
You think redshirt freshman Jake Merklinger is saying, "Oh, this is for my NFL future"?
I think if you're Jake Merklinger, it's for your NFL life. It's for your college football life.
Why is that different if they're roughly the same age, roughly the same year?
Because if Merklinger loses his starting quarterback job, he might not ever be a starter at a high-level SEC program. Like if he loses his battle, he might not ever get to do it. Same for Joey Aguilar. If he loses this battle, his football career is pretty much over.
Yeah, he's going to be a fireman.
Right, but his football career is pretty much over. That's the difference of the battle. Like Joey Aguilar, the reward is, boom, I could be an SEC quarterback that can maybe play my way into the next level. Now, probably not, but maybe.
But what's to say let's just for Jake, he still has his job in 2 years whenever Faison Brandon's had a year to sit underneath, and watch and learn.
I mean, that's
it's his to lose. It's his NFL battle. At that point, it would be.
I mean, maybe he would be gone and transferred, and then all of a sudden he's moving around, and next thing you know, he ends up at Vanderbilt or South Carolina, and he's on the 2 deep, 3 deep, battling for a starting job. You never know.
Could you compare a quarterback to CEO? Like, is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway under more pressure than the CEO of, I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
Covenant Health.
The bigger the bigger the company is, the more pressure you're under. I would say.
So?
Yeah.
You don't think it's just the job is the job? Like,
no.
Like once you're responsible for that many people, like,
no.
Is there a difference of being responsible for 100 people versus 1,000 people and whatnot?
I would say so, but also like to keep the stock price up, like, maybe not necessarily now, but like, I was going to say Bezos, but like, look at Elon. You don't think Elon felt a little bit worse watching his tweets and like the way he was acting, like crush the Tesla stock and him having to answer to his employees, but also like all the Tesla stockholders versus just somebody who's the CEO of a local nonprofit here that, this is kind of a side hobby.
Yeah.
I would say the pressure there is a little bit different too.
Different levels of executive pressure.
Nonprofit compared to a, car company.
You're comparing a Pee Wee football team to
comparing two football teams.
I said
company versus
health.
Company.
I said Covenant Health.
Well, I'm just saying company versus company, organization
car company
versus organization.
Car company, but okay, go off.
Okay, well, find me the most obscure car company, Bubba. What's the most obscure car company?
Oldsmobile.
Probably whatever they use out in Dubai to have electric cars. I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know any car companies.
CEO of Tesla versus CEO of most
President of the United States. Or president of your freshman class in high school? Who do you think's under more pressure, Bubba? The same?
I don't think that's the same job.
Why not? It's the president. That's what Bubba's saying, is playing quarterback.
He's
the president of your freshman class.
His narrative here,
Cody. The freshman of the president class, Bubba. The freshman of the choir team, or the president of the United States.
I feel like it'd more or less be like the principal of the school.
Principal and president is not the same thing, but okay that's fine, Bubba. You think the principal of your local middle school is under the same amount of pressure as the president of the United States?
And they respect the field. Probably they want their kids to have good test scores here.
The sad thing is now I think you've worked yourself into a shoot. I think it started out as a bit, but now you're actually trying to make this make sense in your head.
Here's one. The head coach of the New England Patriots or the head coach of Carnes High School?
How about this one? Stephen A. Smith or you? Do you come in here feeling like
we don't do the same job?
Do you feel like you come in here under the same amount of pressure on the radio, Bubba? Do you feel like you're under the same amount of pressure as you would if you were on the #1 radio show in the world?
I'd be the same guy.
It'd be about the same. Expectations should not differ depending on what level you're at.
Well, if that's the way we want to do it, do you think you'd get fired for being 15 minutes late at the #1 radio show in the world?
If it was more than 3 times consecutively in like a month span, absolutely.
How cool would it be to see?
I think it'd be one time.
It'd be so cool to see Bubba and Stephen A. switch places for a day. Like have Stephen A over there just like doing his thing.
I think doing the
Bubba's
radio
on
show
TV.
here, a little bit more laid back, a little bit less pressure than doing a radio show on, like I said, like ESPN or
being the guitar
NPR.
player for the Rolling Stones or being the guitar player with the local band at the Pilot Light.
Same thing, John. Same thing.
Trying to get gigs.
Trying to get gigs, John.
Yeah.
They feel embarrassed when they mess up. So
he's worked himself into a shoot. Send us to break. It's Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.